Well, good morning, you guys. The KC lights have arrived. So it's just in this small box, and I'm going to show you guys what these lights look like. And I did take a look at the instruction pamphlet, and it looks almost too simple to believe. But first, let me show you how the instruction diagram. And for those of you that understand this kind of stuff, you can pause the video so maybe you could answer a question I have. There's the diagram. Hopefully that's showing up. And these leads right here, each go to the lights. Each light plugs into these. Then it shows a black wire to the negative, yellow wire to the positive, and then it has a separate lead that comes off that goes to the switch to turn the lights on and off. Can it really be that simple? And it shows a fusible link right here. And actually, I have a couple questions. What is the fusible link for? There's a fuse that goes in here that it came with. It came with everything you need. And what does the fuse do? I know that a fuse can be blown, but is that in case there's like an override of current? If that's what you call it. I don't know anything about automotive wiring, you guys. Absolutely nothing. And is that all you do is hook the black wire to the negative and the yellow wire to the positive? And that's it? I didn't think it'd be that simple. I thought you'd have to like cut and splice and and use one of those whatever they call them, those heat shrink adapters that you use like a heat gun on to melt it down. Let me take one of the lights out here and show you. This is how they come. See, this is what plugs into one of the leads. And it's got this blue film. This is just a piece of plastic that you peel off. These are clear. And they're all aluminum. And these are heat displacement fins. So as they get hot, it displaces the heat. I'm not sure what that is right there. I don't know. But this is where it mounts. And it mounts to, what did I do with the brackets? I had to use, I'm using longer carriage bolts than what it came with because to go through the bars, I needed bolts that were longer. But this is how they mount. Like that. You can either hang them this way or you can have them this way. But these are the lights that are going to illuminate my campsite. And these things, I bet, are going to be very bright and do the job just fine. There's two of them. So I'll have one on each side of the van. Bear with me, guys. And I got a hold of my niece, and she texted her husband to see what would be a good time to do it. If it were that simple, I could do it myself, but then there's routing the wire. See, this is all one length. There's nothing to cut. There's nothing to splice. Everything is just plug and play. You just hook everything up. But the wires that go to the battery seem a little small. And all the other wiring seems heavy duty. So I don't know. And it comes with cable ties. They basically give you everything you need. All the hardware. $190 for just these two lights. And I want to get them hooked up because I'm going camping this weekend. And Gizmo's going with me. And my brothers wanted me to do a camp out with them. So this first camp out will be with my brothers. After this, I'll be on my own. And so we'll see how things go. But yeah, the wiring just seems cut and dry, but um I got to figure out where's the best place to put the switch, because it claims this damn light glares so much. There we go. This switch here, after you hook it up to these three wires that go to these prongs, it says that you have to drill a 3/4 inch hole, and then the switch snaps into the hole, and then the wires coming through the back. So you got this toggle switch to turn on and off. That's very simple. Um, but I'm just wondering if these two leads go to just the battery, and it would actually probably just bolt to the terminal that goes to the battery. You got the terminal that goes on the post, and then the bolt, the smaller bolt that goes through the back of the terminal to tighten down onto the main wires is probably where you add this, and then the same thing on the other side. But my question is, with it just going to each side of the battery like that, would it still give me power all the time, to where when I want to turn it on, I can turn it on without having to have the ignition advanced or even have the van running? Will it be like, I don't know the word for it, direct, to where it'd be direct to where I can turn it on and off, whether if the van's running or not? Those are the questions I have. If anybody knows anything about automotive wiring, you could please let me know. The specification says wattage is 20 watts. The amp draw is 1.6 amps. That's how much it draws. Voltage is 9 volt dash 36 volt. IP rating is IP 69K, whatever that means. Maybe someone could help me with this. I don't know anything about automotive wiring, you guys. I can do wiring in a house. I understand house wiring, but automotive wiring, I know nothing about it. I don't understand amps and stuff like that. I mean, like in a house, you're dealing with 110, 220. It's just simpler that most things run on 110 electric, like your outlets and your lights in the ceiling and stuff like that. But when it comes to vehicles, there's different amps for different things. And I don't understand why some things are on a lower amperage and some things are on a higher amperage. I don't understand any of that stuff. And that's why I never wired my van to, have its own in-house batteries and an inverter, because you got to invert the power to change it or whatever. I really don't know anything about it, you guys. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That would be like telling a 5-year-old kid to build one of my campers. He wouldn't even know where to start. And that's the way I am when it comes to automotive wiring. I can do anything else on a vehicle, anything else on a vehicle, but the wiring, forget it. So if it says the amp draw is 1.6 amps, here's another question. If I were to flick them on while the van is off, how long could the lights be on for it to be safe without it drawing down my battery? Because it's not like I'd have them on all night long, but how long can I have them on and run them on my battery with the vehicle off before it would start to draw the battery down? See, I have these different questions to where it, in the box here, it doesn't really answer that, how long you can run the system for. But like I said, I wouldn't have it on very long. But it's called an area flood lighting system, and it's to illuminate your campground at night, and it lights it up very bright. If you can see there on that SUV, they show there with a tent up top, and it lights up everything. So I will find the best place to mount these things. And then once it's dark, I will test them out. So if you guys could just answer a few of those questions I had in this video, I'd really appreciate it. And then I got to figure out how to run the wiring, because see, I don't want this to be like a permanent install to where like I'm drilling a hole and running, I don't want to do that. Where the wires leave from the lights and go down the vehicle, like I would have the wire underneath of my roof rack, and then I would like cable tie it to it or something, try to do something that looks neat and tidy, but it's not going to be something that's like passing through the body of the van and then going under the carpet and up through the firewall. I don't want like a real permanent install, because if I had to take these lights off the van someday and transfer them to a different vehicle, I don't want to have to rip half the vehicle apart to get these lights back off. So I'm doing it more as a temporary setup, but yet to where it still looks neat and tidy and decent, you know, not redneckish. It's just a shame that these are getting hooked up so late in the year. I could have really used these throughout the summer, but I have them now, and that's nice. In the wintertime, I wouldn't be using these lights at all. And I don't know, maybe I'd take the system back off for the winter and then put them back on again in the spring. I don't know, just so they're not out in the freezing cold. Um, I just think it'd be better to just store them for the winter after I use them this fall. So yeah, I wish I did understand wiring, you guys, but I don't. And it's the same reason why I did my campers basic, where I just had battery lights in them that ran on their own power. So when you put a light up, it's like it has its own batteries in it, and you just turn it on and off. There's no wiring, because how these people wire the teardrops. And I was aware of how everybody was doing their campers. I just don't know how to do that at all when it comes to batteries and inverters and all kinds of different wires and fusible links. And this has got to be hooked to that. And it's just something I've never learned, never knew how to do. And but that's okay, because I know enough people to where there's always somebody I can find to do it. And if I would have done my campers that way, I would have had to hire someone to do it for me. But I built my campers to where somebody could do that to the unit. Once they got one of my campers, they could, that's all they'd have to do is just do the wiring part of it, if that's what they wanted. So it was kind of nice to leave it up to them, because then that way batteries go where they want them to go. The inverter can be mounted where they want the inverter to be mounted. In other words, it's not just, me doing it and then they say, this is all wrong, I don't want it set up like this. So that's why I left it alone, built the campers, and let people do whatever they want with them. At least they got the easier part. Building it is the hard part. So yeah, I don't know, but she said she texted her husband and they'll get back to me. And as simple as this appears to be, I'm sure he would probably do it in 10 minutes, but you know maybe he can help me understand all this a little more and explain what's what. Because when I watch YouTube videos, they really don't get into the simple part of it, because they just assume people already know vehicle wiring, and I don't. So I'm pretty dumb when it comes to that, but can't know how to do everything. There's a lot of stuff I know how to do, and I don't know everything. So there's some things I just don't know how to do. And it's just because I never felt like there was a need for it until now. So when I go camping this weekend, I am going to let how you guys saw the camera, the trail cam set up on that post on the ball mount, mounted up on the canoe bars of my van. I'm going to have that set up just like that again. And I'm going to let it roll all night long and see what it gets as we sleep. So I already did the podcast with Jeff Mara yesterday, and he said it's going to be uploaded sometime today. So when that gets uploaded, I will do another video, and I will share the link down below in that video so you guys can watch that podcast that he and I did if you're interested. So with that, I'll let you guys go. And like I said, I'll do a video and I'll show how these lights look and how they operate once they are on the van, hooked up and ready to rock and roll. You guys will see how my setup then is once it's done. So thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.